Good evening, everyone. And if you're visiting Meadville, welcome to Meadville. I'm Leroy Stearns. I'm mayor of the city of Meadville. And I'm honored to be here this evening. As you know, tonight's concert is to benefit the Meadville Neighborhood Center and to help with the ongoing projects and programs. Meadville community volunteers their time to strengthen the relationship in Meadville through the initiatives like the Big Zipper Project, pop-ups, the Meadville Area Teen Lounge, Grow Meadville, and many more. Tonight, with love and support, the Meadville Neighborhood Center and our community is working to make Meadville better. It gives me great pride and honor to introduce my friend in tonight's concert, The Holidays with Alec Chien.
Getting old, I have to change glasses. Does this come off, Craig? It does. How are you? I so appreciate you coming with this kind of weather. This morning I was going to go, wow, this is a fundraiser, I know, but wouldn't it be neat if we could charge by the snowflake? But who would count, I really appreciate this gathering because this is, as the mayor mentioned already, this is about, it's really, believe it or not, it really is not about me. It's actually not even about the Meadville Neighborhood Center. It's about the community. And because it is a community event, and the mayor really gets that, he just immediately came that, yes, I would come and introduce the evening. What we're really facing with tonight is a sample of when there's synergy, when there's collaboration, and when there's a lot of people excited about certain things, they come forth, and tonight is a sample. There are so many people I need to thank that will be here till midnight, and I'm afraid I might miss someone. But more importantly, I think those people who have been involved, and they know who they are, would certainly agree with this sentiment. The Meadville Neighborhood Center really serves as a catalyst. And so in that sense, things happen, and MNC happens to be part of the beginning or process, and it doesn't really need to, quote, get credits. And people who have been helping with this and helping with many other projects, they have the same spirit. And so I just want to thank all of them tonight, and I know that they were not doing it to try to receive praises. I know that. So also tonight, there are quite a few board members of MNC who are here, and I'm not going to call them up by name, but if they would just stand up so we acknowledge not only who they are, but after the program, if you have questions or if you want to talk to someone, some of them, feel free to corner them and ask them. So if those who are board members of MNC if they would just stand up so we all know who they are. And I want to thank them for all your efforts. Yeah, take a look at these people, and they are able to just invigorate others. And so this is a growing thing. Meadville is picking up a lot of steam and synergy in serving the community. And one thing I really would like to share with you tonight as we open this evening is using music to really somehow relate to what we're trying to get across in terms of our mantra, in terms of our philosophy, and so on. And the key to that, pun intended, is to listen. And so learning to listen via, in this case, music, is a real beginning step of all of us gathering together to have that common bond of hearing what people have to say. Now, as later on when Brenda presents more specifically about MNC with a video and so on, she'll talk more about that. But the thing about this is when we are facing with, even look at tonight, some people kind of twisted my arm to play some of the Christmas holiday spirited pieces, which usually I don't do, but I said, all right. And so, it was kind of late to decide what to play. If we're going to do this again next year, and sometimes I think somehow people might want this to happen annually, I think what I will do next year is perhaps to play the entire Nutcracker Suite, which is not that long. which is not that long. And maybe another surprise goodie. But next year, we'll probably do it in an afternoon concert, because I found out there are no fewer than 4 big parties going on now that I know of. In fact, the mayor was so gracious to come. He's supposed to be at a party. He probably has slept by now. And I said, please, just go ahead, So I will avoid the evening and maybe have an afternoon in December. I like the idea of the Holy Spirit. But anyway, I just want to relate now and turn the tone, so to speak, to truly why MNC even happened. And that is we found out that there's a lot of hurt in people's lives. Everybody has hurts. And especially with the youth, when they really don't seem to have a real purpose or wanting or thinking their lives are worth living, that really strikes a chord. And so while the opening pieces were festive and joyous, for the rest of the evening, it's going to be all downhill. The next 2 pieces will be dark, throbbing, Rachmaninoff passion. And I want all of us to get how Rachmaninoff was longing to be heard, okay? It is hard to play, I understand, but really it's the romanticism in him that wants to express what's painful in his life. And then after the video, I'll conclude with really an epic in the classical music realm with the Schubert. And if you really want to taste what suffering is, you will get that, okay? The Schubert will just drive you. It's going to be repetitive. But when people are really hurting and don't know where to go, listen to them. Often, they don't have much to say, but when they do, they're actually often repetitive because they just want to express out. Now, in the case of Schubert, I hope the repetition doesn't bore you. And that's the trick with the pianist, needing to give colors. But in the case of the Rachmaninoff, it will be obvious that you will feel this pain. So the 2 Rachmaninoff, and then I'll introduce Brenda to talk about MNC. quite a difference, isn't it, from the first 6? So here's Brenda, who is going to tell us much more about the meat of MNC, and there's a video to present it as well.
Hi. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. This is just really encouraging to see so many people here. I am actually not going to speak very much at all. I saw my name in the program like 2 days ago, and I'm like, Alec, what on earth is my name doing here? At that point, we weren't sure whether the video would be ready or not. So you are spared from hearing me talk for a chunk of time. Picture and testimony from folks in our video will do a much better job. I do want to say quickly, though, that Bruce Harlan and I definitely get the award for the arm twisting that Alec referred to that graced you with some of the Christmas songs. He was just going to do regular classical music, which is great. I'm sure everyone loved that, but it's a holiday concert. You have to do some Christmas songs. Like, no, I don't have to. Oh, come on, please, please. So he worked his tails off. He spent, in 2 months, he got those Christmas pieces learned and memorized. Not the Handel. He had worked on the Handel prior to that, but the Tchaikovsky one. So what a delight it was in our house the past couple months to be hearing the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies and the Waltz of the Flowers and seeing our grandkids twirl and twist to that while Grandpa practiced. So without further ado, this video is fresh. You are seeing premiere showing of this. This does a wonderful job. We're still tweaking it a little bit, just hot off the press here. But this will give you a good picture of what Meadville Neighborhood Center is doing. I hope it inspires you to look around at the good that is going on in our community. There are hard things, there are painful things, there are bad things, we know that. But be encouraged by the good that is happening. We had wanted to do something like this for quite a while, but it costs a lot of money. Very graciously, Greg Bush from Bush Investment Group really has bought into this idea of the Meadville Neighborhood Center. He sees what is happening, and he wanted to fund this project. So that is thanks to him. And contrary to what might appear, the Meadville Neighborhood Center is not a Chien family thing. Alec's performing and I'm talking. There are so many people. We are just kind of in the background. Right now it doesn't look that way, but we are not the ones doing the bulk of the work. There are so many wonderful people working, and Alec already asked our board members to stand. I want to thank them again. But enjoy this, and I'll wrap up, and Alec will play again. So yes, watch and listen and enjoy.
Since 2014, the Meadville Neighborhood Center has connected people with our community. And through those connections, really cool things have been happening in Meadville. While we had dreamed of a physical space to be our neighborhood center, it became clear that we didn't need a building to do the work of helping neighbors connect. By bringing programs to where the people are, utilizing public spaces to draw people together, and building relationships with one another, it has become the hearts of people. That is the Meadville Neighborhood Center.
The Meadville Neighborhood Center has been a part of my life for a really long time, and I didn't know it. I was a teacher at First District, and a big zipper appeared in my school. And every day I'd take my kids to art class and wait for them to go in. I'd stare at this zipper and I'd read about it, and it was beautiful, but I never questioned, where did this come from?
I got involved with the Meadville Neighborhood Center probably originally with the Zipper Project at various community events around town. Other ways I became aware of the Meadville Neighborhood Center were some fantastic placemaking events that were popping up all around town, and I began to familiarize myself with the organization and its mission.
The Big Zipper Project set the tone for everything MNC represents. This 2-year project quickly became a journey of connecting and listening that spread to hundreds of community members. Individuals, young and old, carved their unique design in puzzle-shaped wood blocks, which were then put together during a big puzzle party, inked up, and printed at a huge community event on Chestnut Street during Second Saturday Community Market. These prints now hang in 14 community locations across the city of Meadville as a commitment to our shared history. Now we take the lessons learned through the Big Zipper project and use placemaking, youth-driven initiatives, and personal connections to inspire all ages to be engaged and invested in Meadville.
So my first experience with the Meadville Neighborhood Center pop-up cafe was off the Diamond in a building that was between tenants. And I was greeted by all sorts of community resources and our community coordinator, Lee. And we bonded over Modest Mouse on vinyl, and there were some books to look at, there was coffee, and it was just an amazing place for people to gather regardless of what was going on in their lives. You know, it was just a gathering place based on their humanity.
I was talking about what my life had been like for the last 6 months or so of being involved in the community and finally discovering that this town where I lived my whole life finally felt like home, and that I wanted to stay. And it's because of all of these things that I'd started to get involved in, the people that I was meeting, and I felt like I was a part of something, not just in a place.
Initiatives like Second Saturday Night Live, Music for Lunch in Diamond Park, block parties in local neighborhoods, pop-up events in public spaces, Won't You Be My Neighbor Meadville, where we celebrated the neighborly values of Mr. Rogers with his wife Joanne, Thankful Thursday service events. All these draw people together and build relationships with the larger community. The project spread a shared story of connection and positivity while engaging people in the ongoing development of our shared spaces and resources.
I'm Katie, and I'm connected to the Meadville Neighborhood Center through the Meadville Area Teen Lounge. I first learned about the Meadville Neighborhood Center through the camp that I attended called Grow Meadville. Whenever I first moved to Meadville, it was the first thing that I really did in Meadville. So it was the summer that I moved to Meadville that I attended Grow Meadville. I didn't want to go to Grow Meadville, actually. I was really mad that I had to go to Grow Meadville. My mom made me go. I was slightly interested in the gardening part of it, but I just didn't really want to meet a bunch of people. So I was forced to go, but it ended up changing my life essentially, so I'm glad that she made me go.
The Meadville Area Teen Lounge was imagined by youth from the Meadville Neighborhood Center's Grow Meadville Summer Leadership Program. Through their community action project, youth decided to design and create a safe place for teens with the help of local adult volunteers. In its second year of operation, the Meadville Area Teen Lounge is located next to the downtown Meadville YMCA in the basement of the Unitarian Universalist Parish House in Diamond Park.
I think for me, as, a foster kid, I was adopted, moved to Meadville, and then all of a sudden, there was just all of these people that really cared about what I had to say when I felt like I didn't really have a choice about what was going on for most of my life. Programs like this where people were actually asking teens what they think is cool about Meadville, what they think should change about Meadville, and just asking their opinions on things like their school or anything like that. And also just being there, adults supporting teens or other teens supporting other teens. Maybe students don't always have that sort of support, and it really just like changes their whole attitude if somebody just wants to listen to them for 5 minutes.
Two of our proudest examples of bringing the community together are the community coordinator position and meadvillecalendar.com. The community coordinator is a full-time public service position shared between 3 agencies: the ARC of Crawford County System of Care, and the Meadville Neighborhood Center, with a mission of working better together. MeadvilleCalendar.com, run by community volunteer Jason Sackle, promotes local events and organizations through a weekly Monday morning show, a community calendar, and event highlights like live streams and photo booths.
I hope when people encounter a Meadville Neighborhood Center event, they become emboldened to try new things out, meet new people, and connect with their neighbors.
Now you might ask people what it's like to live in Meadville. They'll talk about Winterfest, or they'll talk about, the great community events going on. They'll talk about Second Saturday Community Market. They'll talk about downtown. And of course, Meadville Neighborhood Center is not the person or the organization who did all of those things. But a lot of the spirit and a lot of the story has been carried through the Meadville Neighborhood Center, and the spirit of cooperation, the spirit of highlighting the people and the assets that we have.
It had never clicked. I didn't realize that each of these things had been created by the same group. They didn't put their name first. They didn't put the neighborhood center first. It was this project, and this is what we were trying to do, and they're just in the background making it happen.
Meadville Neighborhood Center engages the community in the success of our students and neighbors.
I know for me specifically, I came to this camp, I felt like I was being listened to for the first time in a long time. I felt like people cared about how I felt and what I thought.
It's very easy to sit at home and complain. It's hard to get out and actually change things, but the efforts have gained traction even without huge notoriety around the name Neighborhood Center. And I think that's the most beautiful part about it.
We're reliant upon the generosity of our community. Get involved by donating, volunteering, and following us.
Thank you for watching. Exciting, isn't it? I hope you're encouraged. Was some of that information new to you? Like a lot of you, like, wow, I didn't know that was going on. Some really cool stuff happening. Lee Scandinaro, our community coordinator, could not be here tonight. He's in Annie. He's got one of the leads in Annie. There's a few people here. Elise and John was here who were interviewed. And Katie, are you here still? She was, yeah, Katie's here who was interviewed. Feel free to chat with them afterwards as well. But Lee has been a huge part in making a lot of the things in the heart of the Meadville Neighborhood Center happen. MeadvilleCalendar.com. Go to Facebook and check it out. They've got a morning show every Monday. It's hysterical. It's fun. Lee and Jason get together and visit different businesses and people and places. You learn about people and things in Meadville, and they do lots of fun things there. So Lee and Elise both, it struck me as I was watching this just now again, said something that kind of, I think, ties this together. Lee mentioned how we try to focus on the forte, the positive things of people and the resources that we have here. And Elise mentioned it's easy to just sit home and complain. It's harder to get up and get out and do something positive. And I was thinking about this, what may become an annual event, fundraising event at Christmas time, and thinking about how the spirit of Christmas being giving and focusing on others and love and the things that we all associate with that. And thought, what a great tie-in with those things, to be looking at the positive. The one whose birth that we celebrate at Christmas time spoke of overcoming evil with good. And I thought, that's a lot of what I'm hearing here. And spoke of loving your neighbor as yourself. That's what we're hearing here. That's what we're doing. These are positive, good things that bring wonderful things in our community, focusing on the good. So thank you for watching and listening, and again for your wonderful support. Hang around and visit afterwards. I know we've got some depressing music to listen to, but that's what he called it. It's not. It's gorgeous. It is beautiful, this Schubert that's upcoming. In the back, as you leave, there are some notebooks, little individual pocket-sized notebooks for you to take if you would like. Take one for yourself or for your family as our gift to you, just a thank you. So those are there for you to take. Thank you.
Let this Schubert be about an epic where we have a quiet environment to develop a quiet heart, to listen. We're celebrating holidays, but usually during holidays, there are quite a few people who habitually are more painful because of the holidays. So there are many opportunities in front of us to be a neighbor to someone else. So let this Schubert be an opportunity to listen to how Schubert expressed his grief.